Looks like it's time to start taking it apart. Found this little plastic hook. Seems to work pretty good. We'll give it a try. Here I have one of the heater controls. I did mark them 1, 2, 3. I got the cables marked on where they go. And just to show you, this is from Mac Tools, but you can buy these universal plastic pullers. And this worked great to get right between there and the dash and pop right off. All three of these are the same. Now you notice it looks like there's some white, I don't know if I can see that or not, down in here and in there. That's not paint. It looks like somebody actually waxed or buffed the dash out or something, because that's not paint. It comes right off. If you take a little towel, a wet towel, it'll wipe right out of there. So that is not paint. I believe they're supposed to be all black. And all three of them are identical, and they're all in pretty good shape. Maybe a little polish on them. One thing I did notice when I took this one off, I got a stripped out bolt here. It doesn't look too good, so I got to look into that. May have to put a helicoil in it, not sure. And on one of the other ones, I actually found it's almost like a self-threading coarse bolt in one of the holes. So I don't know if the previous owner had it apart, or that was a factory backup. If you stripped one out, you threw a slightly larger self-tapper in there. I don't know. But anyway, that's how that comes apart. I had a dickens of a time trying to get this light switch rod out of here. The little pin there. Now they got that little spring-loaded deal there. You're supposed to push it in and pull it out. I worked on it for probably 15, 20 minutes. So then I put a little penetrating oil up in and around the switch, pushed that button, and she pulled right out the first time. So she was pretty dry and crusty, and that made it come right out. So I was getting a little worried about that. This is the light switch. This is the one I had trouble with. This little button right here. This goes in there through the dash. It'd be up against the back side of the dash. This would be in the front. Then you got this little nut with the little notches again that you're going to have to unthread. And then this is in there. And this is the little button that releases this right here. I tried for 15, 20 minutes. It would not budge. I sprayed a little penetrant in here and a little here and a little bit around this pin. And after I did that, the first try, it came right out. Just boom. So basically, once again, you're going to need a tool to go down in there to tighten that. I used 2 little screwdrivers, I believe, and it wasn't very tight, but you want that snug. So you may have to use a piece of thin gauge tubing or an old socket to make a tool. I think there's a company that does make special tools for all this type of stuff, but I don't know if they'd be the exact fit or not. But that's how that came out. Okay, I got the ignition switch out of the way there. Now I can see my wiper valve, I guess you'd call it, my on-off switch for the vacuum wipers. I'm not really sure how to get it out of there, but I'll keep playing with it, see if I can figure it out. This is the vacuum wiper switch, I guess you'd call it, or valve. There's a valve on here. Now this is behind the dash. This is in front of the dash. This is the nut that holds it on. Once again, you need some type of a tool. I managed to get it off with screwdrivers because it appeared that not much on this thing was real tight. Now the procedure for removing this, it said basically gently pry this off. And that was a little nerve-wracking. I tried my plastic and I was not able to get it with the plastic. You don't want to pry, I don't think, under here, because that could easily snap that off. But I did get 2 of these little screwdrivers just under the edge and just gently kept working it. And it finally just came out like that. And I didn't do any damage to it. But I mean, if you could find a smaller, stiffer plastic one, that would probably work better. But that's how that came out. Now, if you need any of this type of information, first look in your service manual, your Buick service manual. They're still available. You can still buy them. If you can't find the information there, go to the Buick Club of America on the forums, and you should be able to find your answers there. Ignition switch removal. Okay, they say you turn it to the off position. You push in that little hole, and then you turn it clockwise. Let me see if I can do this. Got the key in. Look at that. Just like you're supposed to. Well, that's cool. One more thing off the dash. Now get that off. We're getting there. Okay, I got the two little baby screws out that go into that ignition switch. One there and one there. And then if you look in here, there's two more screws that takes the bezel off. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, we're going to take a closer look at the ignition switch here. You saw in the video prior to this, you put a paper clip in the hole in the off position, you turn it clockwise, it pops right out. So that's pretty cool, that's easy. You still have this in the dash. I can get it locked in here. So that'd still be in the dash, and you can take these screws out in the back, but apparently they're slotted, so you just gotta loosen them and then turn it, and then this comes out. But this is still bolted to the dashboard. You still gotta take these two out here to separate the bezel from the dash. So that's how that comes out. Hold the wires off and the lights. I got one more screw or nut here. And we'll see what happens. Okay. One thing weird is almost all the nuts and screws have been like finger tight. I thought that was kind of odd, but anyway, making some progress. I got a little ways to go yet. This is actually a really nice gauge set, except I broke that end right there, taking it out of the head. Tried not to, but I thought I was getting it. When I pulled it out, it was broke. I think those are repairable, but I do have another really nice one, so I'll be putting a different one in. Yeah, these little light cluster here for your turn signals and brights, that just pops right out. That was no big deal. And the same bolts that hold the clusters in also hold this in, so this can be removed right away. So that's off of there. So we're getting close. Okay, I have the wiring harness pretty much removed except for the glove compartment light. And I have one wire here that was disconnected on that end, and I didn't mark it. So, I'm going to make sure looks like it goes to either the light switch or something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, that's where it laid, so I want to make sure I record that. And I got the clock to take out in the glove box, and I guess a few other little things, and we should be getting down to the bare bones here. Well, I got the cardboard glove compartment taken out, radio screen, all this stuff. So basically I have the glove box door to take off, and then all the pretty little trim, and it will be a bare naked dashboard. Okay, I got the trim off, and I don't think I need this light. Anyway, This area has definitely been repainted here. You can see there's paint on the trim, and if you look, there is a paint edge there. But here, I've looked all along here, I don't see a paint edge anywhere. It looks like it's original, and I didn't see any paint on the trim. So with those two off, all I got left is the back machined aluminum there. I guess that's aluminum. And it'll be stripped. Okay, when I remove the trim, basically they got little clips. They got little clips in the back that stick through. And most of them are accessible from the rear. You can see the little holes here. There's some back here that aren't really accessible. So what I did was I gently took a plastic screwdriver and tapped on the ones that are exposed. And once I got it popped out a little bit, once again I used my plastic tools to get behind there and gently work it, and I got the rest of them popped out. And I did the same over there, and that came off real easy. That was really nothing to it on that. Now, as far as this back piece is concerned, they got little tabs back here for the radio and the cigarette ashtrays, and you basically got to bend those tabs back, and then this will come right off, because most of it's held in by the bottom strip, and all the gauges, everything's kind of, there's a couple screws there, but that comes off pretty easy. You just got to be careful. Other than that, I'm waiting to hear back from the media blaster, see if he can blast this. He said he was shut down for a couple weeks. I'd have to put up a small tent to do it, because we've got a couple feet of snow out there. So the only other thing here is this speaker switch, and that had a nut behind it, and the knob pulls off same way, so that's pretty easily done. Everything is stripped off the dash, except the paint. I didn't do the glove compartment yet, but now the fun begins. I don't know, it's about 2 above. Might be a little too cold for some media blasting outside. I don't know.